So what is planning? We can say that planning is basically about setting goals. Number one is in planning, setting goals, organizational goals, departmental goals, individual goals. Then developing performance standards. You have to develop certain standards to know people that at what level they are expected to perform. You have to decide a criteria on the basis of which you can determine whether an individual performed well or not, whether a department performed well or not. Like I would give you an example of performance standard of a salesperson. A standard may be the number of units sold in a period, in 1 month, in 6 months, or in a 1 year period. So after 6 months, you can evaluate the performance of a salesperson whether he achieved his or her target or not, whether he or she achieved his or her goal or not. So there should be clear performance standard. And at the end of a certain period, we can evaluate the performance of an individual based on those standards. Then we have to develop plans or strategies to achieve those goals. You should have some strategy. The basic difference between plan and strategy is that strategy is always a long-term plan, and there is allocation of resources. You are planning, but then you have to allocate some resources. Without allocating resources, an individual or department or an organization cannot achieve its goal. So what is planning? Planning is basically setting goals, then developing performance standard, and third one is planning or developing strategies to achieve those goals. ठीक है, फिर इसके बाद जो है the second function is organizing function. Organizing means that we have to structure work, structuring work, or we can say that we assign different responsibilities, different duties to different individuals and different departments within the organization. That is called organizing function. So manager, they do organizing function, they structure the work of individual. Since we can say that it is about establishing departments. Manager has to establish department. This is finance department, this is marketing department, this is HR department, this is research and development department, this is production department, this is operation department. This is the work of manager. A manager has to arrange the work, how people will perform. ठीक है, इसमें फिर हम ये कहते हैं कि it is about establishing the reporting relationship. Reporting relationship means who will be reporting to whom, who will be the supervisor, who will be the subordinate. So all these activities are performed under the organizing function. ठीक है जी. Next is leading. The third function of manager is leading. So leadership is basically having a vision. A manager is someone who can have a vision about the organization. So one that is having a vision can lead other toward the attainment of goal or toward that vision. Without vision, an individual cannot lead or inspire other people. Next is that a manager has to motivate people. Motivation. What is meant by motivation? Motivation means that people exert their energy in a right direction. So motivation means that after working for some time, people lose confidence, they get bored with their work. So the task of manager is to motivate them, so they can exert their energy in a right direction. Without motivation, individual may not be able to exert his or her energy for organization. When we talk about management, it's not about the individual, it's about the organization. It's not about achieving our personal goals. A manager is someone who try to achieve or attain organizational goal, not personal goal. So for this it is important that people exert their energy toward the attainment of organizational goal, and this is the work of leader or manager, that he direct the energies of other people to exert an energy and direction to achieve their organizational goal, not their personal goal. Suppose I am exerting effort for achieving my personal goal, so it may not be required by an organization. As a manager, I have to exert my energy in the right direction. Then, after motivation, we can say that the task of leadership or manager is to resolve conflict. Conflict resolution. Whenever there is a conflict among departments, among individuals within the department, or one department with another department, or one department with another individual, it is the task of leadership to resolve those conflicts. Without resolving the conflict, people will not be able to complete their job. So it is the task of leadership to resolve the conflict among the members of the organization, especially his or her own subordinate. ठीक है जी. Next is control or controlling function. Without control, we will not be able to achieve our goal. So, in control, it is about monitoring and evaluating performance. A manager has to monitor whether things are going as planned or not. So, a manager and control, a manager do a comparison. Comparison of what? Comparison of standard performance versus actual performance. The performance standard, we discussed that at a planning phase, we set performance standard, and those performance standards are then used in the controlling stage or monitoring and evaluation stage. We compare the performance standard with an individual actual performance, whether he or she attained his or her performance standard or not. In case of if there is any deviation means that things are not going as planned, then the manager has to take corrective action. ठीक है, action or corrective action. So control is basically a comparison of performance standard with the actual performance, and then in case of any deviation, then the manager can take corrective action. If there is superior performance, so an individual can be given incentives like bonuses or increments, etc. for his or her high performance or superior performance. ठीक है जी.